Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Kev's Hobby Showcase. I'm, of course, Kevin. You may have also seen me on Tabletop Jones Productions, where John and I are the two idiots playing board games. And today, today I got something a little bit different for a painting video. I have mentioned, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned several times on on some of these videos that there was a game that John and I used to play almost exclusively. We played it pretty much exclusively for like 10 years. It's like two games that could be used as one, called Warmachine and Hordes. Now, excuse me. Now, John and I both built up a number of armies in in that game, and I mean, I myself, I have there was from the different factions. I mean, for those of you who know the game, I built up an army in Cygnar, in Convergence of Cyrus, which is the robot army. I built up a mercenary army, which pretty much is everything from the Warmachine side, from the Horde side. I built up a Minions army, which is their version of mercenaries, and also built up an army in Scorn. So, for like I said, for a long time, we didn't go back to that because we just wanted to play other games, not because we got tired of it. Well, I guess in a way we got tired of it, but we wanted to play other games, have different experiences, and this was all, of course, before we started recording anything. So. So now we're looking into the game again, and we found out a few things. First off, that the original company, Privateer Press, was bought out by Steamforged. So now the game is being rebooted. Now, what does that mean? Well, what it means is that what John and I already have is considered out of print, and now all the minis are being built on a different scale. It's like the scale that they did is actually kind of smaller than what they're about to do now. For those of you who see me paint and also for us play the Marvel Crisis Protocol game, that's the scale of the minis are in now. I mean, which is actually a little bit bigger than what they used to be. At least I think it's a little bit bigger. But anyway, so what we decided to do was we want to go back to the game. It's actually you not only need the minis, but you need an app to go with it, which is a free download, thank God. And they're also doing it differently, because it used to be where you would download the app, but then to get all the information from each faction, you had to pay into it, but you don't have to do that now. So it's all there. Everything that you need is right there. You don't have to pay extra, or at all, really. You don't have to pay into it. And yeah, because it used to be where you would get cards along with the units and the pieces. Now that they don't even have that, because John got one of the new battle boxes. I am not able to do that just yet. So until I'm able to do it, we're not going to play the game yet, because obviously it can be kind of boring, just one side. They do say that you can use some of the old stuff with the new stuff, but we're just going to wait until we're just going to use the old stuff exclusively now. These games that we're going to play, for those of you who are watching this on Patreon, it's going to be exclusive content. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. It's basically called Legacy. Like the Legacy part of the game. It's gonna be done. We're gonna do that on Patreon, but as exclusive content, where you'd have to become a member to see. Now, John and I had many games with these, with the old, playing it with the old pieces, the old ways, and we had a great time doing it. It's like give and take. Sometimes I would win, sometimes he would win. It was never really one sided. And when we played, we were always playing at Comic Book Jones, the old comic shop that we used to play, that we pretty much started our gaming relationship, and I would always show up with a different army. I mean, it's like once I started having different armies, I would always show up with it. Like I wouldn't always bring the same one. I would always switch it up. Like I would maybe bring one for like a couple of weeks, and then I would switch it off and then bring another one. So yeah, there's a lot that we can do, a whole lot that we can do. So we're gonna just take it step by step, moment by moment, and I guess game by game. But anyway, as far as today, I am gonna be painting. So basically, I don't have everything painted that I have for this game. I had bought a whole bunch of stuff, and when we stopped playing, I stopped painting. Which is also going to be interesting, because they have their own paints from this game, and it looks like that Steamforged is carrying that over. And I still have the paints. I just hope that they still. I mean, they seem to be still good, so I'm going to, of course, use them. I want to use up what I got, you know. So I'm going to use them up. Hopefully this they seem to be still good. So I'm going to be the first one I'm going to do, which is like really the probably the only one left from the Cygnar army, is what they call a Warjack. Okay, and actually I think this is considered a heavy Warjack, and it's called the Brickhouse. Yeah, so, and I believe it's a character Warjack, which means you could only use one in an army, and I think I don't know if it's with all, I forget if it's all, if it's with all the characters, but some of them are also linked to your leader, which is called a Warcaster. So, I mean, a lot of the terms of this game will be explained when we start playing it. The purpose of this video is to just paint. So yeah. But as you can see, I did already start painting this. So I don't need to prime it. I just need to finish. Well, first I need to finish the base coat because I didn't finish that. I don't know why. I just didn't. And then I'm just going to go from there. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to grab everything that I think I need, all my supplies and all that. And when I come back, I'm going to basically continue on this and try to, and do my best to finish it. Which I know I will, because I've been doing pretty good with that kind of thing. All right, so stay tuned. I will be right back. Okay, got my supplies together. Got first paint open. And let's just get to it. All right, let's get this thing, this Warjack finished that I started so many years ago. All righty. Well, as you can see, I pretty much got most of it painted. Now this part here, I always left unpainted because I was going to paint it all gray. So, and there's like little mechanisms that are going to be hitting with like an iron color. So let's just get, oh, this is still liquid. Look at that. It is still liquid. All right. All right, so, I mean, some of it is going to be painted over in other colors. I'm not going to worry about that. I just want to get, base coat down and finished. Yeah. Now, John and I, when we played this game, we did have a lot of fun. I mean, the reason why we stopped, like I said, is because some dust here and there. The reason why we stopped was because we did want to play some other games. We were basically kind of itching to play some other games. Like we had been buying them, buying other games, and like we're saying, oh, really want to play this game, really want to play this game, and then finally we were like, well, what's stopping us? Anyway, we just thought about it, and we're like, really, nothing is stopping us. So yeah, it's like some games that we do want to get back to for the sake of not just enjoyment, but also to do it on the Tabletop Jones Productions channel. It's like one of them is a Star Wars game called Armada, which game that I really enjoyed when I played it. I mean, the two of us played it together, of course, but I really enjoyed it. So, turns out these paints are still good. Look at that. I mean, again, some of this is going to be painted over for different reasons, and then eventually I am going to, of course, do the black around the base. Now, I am going to do basing on this. I always did. I do it, it's like I did it according to faction as far as what I would use, and I always use grassland with Cygnar. Now, Cygnar was the first army that I started putting together for this game. And for the new stuff, I am going to pretty much go back with that. Because I felt like, I mean, I always was drawn to technology-based, factions and all that. I was always drawn to that, because that's the kind of stuff that I'm like. I've always been into science fiction more than fantasy. So yeah, so for me that was just like a natural progression, and I think it's a really good thing that this is really the only thing left from Cygnar because I can see I am almost out of this blue paint. It's really, really low. Probably out of most, just about out of most of it. And one thing that Cygnar had that I always was very careful with was they have like gold trim on a lot of different areas of the pieces. But yeah, like a lot of them, a lot of the forces dealt with like a lightning technology, which I thought was pretty cool. Of course, it took me a while to really grasp the strategy of it, but eventually I did. All right. And looks like just trying to get every little nook and cranny here. Now, I will say, I believe my skills have greatly improved since I was last painting for this game. So, I mean, eventually I guess I'll start taking out some of the forces and taking pictures of them to showcase them on the showcase. But for now, I don't really have anything, really prepared for that. So for now, I mean, I know usually in between takes, I would always show like pictures of finished minis. I always try to keep it to the to the game that the pieces belong to, and just show those. So being that I don't really have anything for this for the moment, I'm not going to do that. All right. Okay. Well, that was pretty much all I needed for that. So I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to start with a lot of the other little details. Hold on a second. Okay, like I said, I'm going to let that paint dry, and then I'm going to start on a lot of the other little details. I'll pretty much pick a color and go forward with that. I'm probably going to do gray so I can get the like the motor pack on the back, and some of the other areas, some of the others might need the gray, but I got to pretty much distinguish because there's also iron, like a steel color, and a gray color. So I got to figure out for myself, because this, I mean, for this, I mean, most of the books, I don't, I mean, most of the books I kind of put away somewhere, but I do take liberties on this with some things. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna let this basically I'm gonna let this dry, and when I come back, I'm gonna come back with I'm gonna start doing some little details. All right, so stay tuned, and I will be okay. Well, paint is dry, the little bit that I had to put on, and now I'm gonna get started on some details on this Warjack. All right, so the color I used before is called Cygnar Blue. Convenient, since it's the name of the faction. Next is a color called Greycoat Gray. All right, well, first thing I'm going to do with this color is get all of this behind it. Now, when I did this is when I still had some gray primer. All right, let's get this in here. All right, so it's got some pipes that lead out towards the front, so we're just going to get those. And sometimes it is hard to tell while everything is totally put together where things end. All right. Excuse me. All right, so now this piece up here, this bit up here, we're gonna hit with the gray. I have a couple of Warjacks that have this on like both their shoulders. All right, let's get the edges. All right, let me think. Let me see. Anywhere else that could use the gray? Actually, yeah, the hands, because excuse me, the hammer, this big, ginormous hammer, is going to be. I'm going to be painting this. The the color the color is named Cold Steel. I'm going to be painting it that color. So I want the hand to look very much different. So we're going to get it with the gray color. That includes this hand. All right. Now with this game, the pieces were very, the units, the pieces, they were all very, pretty much unique in a way. I mean, well, I say unique, but when you're using, when you're painting like the same faction pieces, over and over again, it can feel kind of tedious, and it can feel like you're doing like the same thing over and over again. But as compared to other games, I felt it was pretty unique. All right, so see, because on this there's quite a bit that goes into it. Like there's like little mechanisms in between the where the joints are. So trying to figure out. I mean, I don't remember what I did with the other pieces that I did for these factions, but I am trying to figure out how to do it with this. And let's see what we got. Let's see what we got now. This piece. So this is going to be quite a bit different. It's going to actually be like an arcane blue. Well, that's because that's what they used to make the lightning kind of stand out. All right, so with the gray, I'm going to extend it to these like smokestack type things, and it's got little bits of trim on it that is going to wind up being a gold color, but that will be applied later. So let's just get this the way it is now. Yeah, I'm trying to utilize the colors as much as I possibly can. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, because from what I remember, I think this plate is going to wind up being white, and I don't know if you could see it, but there is, it's like they have like a bird as their emblem, which is right here. It's going to stand out more because this is all going to be white, and that is going to be gold. So let me see here. You know what? Let's get the shoulder pads the same color. Okay. Now some of this I'm going to make the steel color. I just wanted to make sure that the base of it was going to be a different color than that. Now let's take a look at the rest, because I'm going to be doing little bits here and there. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get this bit on the shoulder. All right. Get that a little bit gray. Gonna get gray around these parts of the shoulder. So that's going to be white, and because I don't know if you could see it, there is another one of the bird emblem. It's going to be excuse me. It's going to be gold, like I said, for the other. Now, this is more like a shield, as I believe it is. I'm trying to decide if I want to paint it gray or if I want to paint it iron. I think I'm going to use iron on that. Alright, so now let's take a look at other areas here. What we got, anything that I could alright. Okay, I think I've pretty much gotten everything I'm going to be able to get. Whoops, sorry. I remember that actually was a common occurrence when I tried to close those things. Alright, before let's see what else I can get in before I take a break. Let's go with the cold steel. Alright. Well now, ain't that something? I put it in and the freaking thing falls right off. Oh my god. Yeah, first thing I'm gonna, and as you can see what I'm doing, sorry I didn't say it, it's gonna get this big hammer. There are little parts of this where it's going to, I'm going to have gold trim on it. But let's get it initially colored. Now one thing I will note is when, excuse me, when we were first starting off on this game, all the pieces were metal. Every single one. And, well, I was just going to say it made for a pretty heavy bag when you had it all together. All right, let's get into the joints. All right. Sometimes they're just a little bit hard to get to, but we're getting it. Yeah. Okay. And of course, these big things that look like screws, we're going to get that in this color as well. Okay, I've got another one here. Let's get the knee joint. Let's be careful not to get a stray line on anything. Now, I remember I always did. Well, you know what? I could do it differently. I always used to do the feet totally in like a metal color, but I don't need to do it this time. I don't think. All right, so let's get the hip joint, and oh, there it is. All right, let's see. Anything? Oh, actually, yes. Got the front part on the face. All right. Actually, a little bit there. Okay. All right. Now, let me think a bit. Oh, there's actually some screw-looking marks back here. Okay. Let's get this thing, which is most likely a lightning generator. All right. Oops. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. This is coming out pretty good so far. All right. Finding little tiny screw things. Some of the other pieces that I did. Sorry about that. Allergies are still affecting me. So anyway, some of the other pieces that I did in the past, I would always notice as I was using them in a game that I missed some of the screws, you know, the things that, like this. Okay. Oh, got some up here. All right, now I wanted to get some of this as the totally in the cold steel color. All right, and just about done. All right. Okay. Get a little bit more of this. Probably should have gotten a thinner brush to do this. Okay. All right. So, anything else that I could see? I would need the iron color. Nope, not at this time. Okay. So, let's clean this brush because this whole thing fell apart in the darn thing. All right. All right, so I'm going to give that paint some time to dry because a lot of what I need to do next has to go over that. So, so let's give this time to dry. Stay tuned. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and there actually is one more color I got to put down that's going to have another color on top of it. So, let's get to it. Yeah, I forgot all about the white. Of course, they call it Morrow white. Oh, Jesus. What did I just put all over me? Nope. Thank God it was just a solid piece of something. All right, so let's get it down here. Yeah, I probably could have done this before waiting for the gray and the cold steel to dry. Because after I'm done with this little bit, I'm going to have to wait again. All right. So I don't know if it's showing up on camera. Like I said, the bird emblem. When I go over it with the gold, that's when you're really going to see it. All right. Okay. Yep, that's pretty much it for that. See if there's any. Sorry, I keep clearing my throat like that, but yeah, it's like I said, the allergies are still affecting me. Actually, you know what? Right here, place on the knee joint, because I do remember in previous Warjacks that I painted for this faction, when I would look at the pictures, they would call for white to be put here. So why not, right? Okay. Now, let me think. Anything else? Anything else? All right. Let me put that down. All right. However, I do believe, yeah, this is the one. Sorry. So with this color, with the cold steel, there is one area I kind of forgot to do. And that's on this forearm. All right. Okay. So I'm going to take another break to let that little bit of paint dry. And when I come back, it's basically... Oh, let me tilt it back up. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. All right, so like I said, gonna let this little bit of paint dry. When I come back, it's basically going to be like the last of like the little touch-up details. It's going to be gold and the arcane blue. And then after that, then I can do the base. And then I could, well, actually, I still have to touch up the base, but I could do that with the next round of paint. So then it's the basing and the wash, and then it's all finished. All right, so stay tuned, and I will be right back. That white paint and the rest of the paint also seems to have dried enough. So let's get these details done. All right. All right, we'll start off with the gold. Actually, what is it called? It's called solid gold. Look at that. I forgot that the top wasn't even attached anymore. All right. Yeah. All right, so so yeah, this is the emblem. I think I should have let this white paint dry a bit more. Oh, let's get the other ones. Let's get all the other. I can always go back to that. Okay. Got it on one side. Now let's get the other. Okay. Basically going on very lightly, just so that I don't go like over where the you know, basically put gold paint where there shouldn't be any now. So like grading up here, that always showed bits of gold in there. You know, like it basically showed it was painted gold in the pictures. So I'm going to do it. And I've pretty much done it on just about every Warjack that I've ever painted. Alright, and let's get the top of these. Alright. Okay. Alright, just gotta steady my hand a bit. Okay, now where else? There's a lot of little trims here and there that gotta get the gold. Okay. Okay, I got it here. Okay. Get it up here. Okay. Alright. I'm actually remembering now the gold paint always went on just a bit subtle. Okay. And let's get this part up here. All right. Okay, let's take a look, see if there's anything else that could use it. I think that's it. I mean, there's other places that probably could get it, but that might be a bit of overkill. All right, so, oh, wait. Before I put the gold paint away, let's go one more time at the bird emblem up here. All right. Okay, I think it's showing up a bit more now. All right. All right. Now, this one I remember always was very, very thick, and yeah, it was always thick and a bit rough to, well, it's more like a gel than anything else. And every time I had finished it and went on to a new one, it was always the same. So this one is going to be just a little bit on the difficult side, or maybe not. All right, try to get it where the bristles weren't frayed. All right, so I've got to kind of twirl the brush a bit to get the bristles to not be like all wide and frayed and all that. And thankfully, I don't need to do too much with it. All right, let me get there we go. Trying to get as much of the paint on and get the bristles to where I'll actually be able to spread the paint on what I need to spread it on. Okay, actually not too bad. Showing up enough. All right. Well, arcane blue is definitely a color that when I'm able to get new paints, I'm going to have to replace. And now, the last bit, they're black, which is called Cygnar black. I don't know why. I'm going to do touch up on the base, the edges of the base. All right. Dang it. Okay. Okay. Well. Okay, so painting is pretty much done. I just got to do the basing and the wash, and then it's all finished. All right, so I'm going to let this last bit of paint dry, and I'm going to do all that when I come back. All right, so stay tuned. Okay, I'm back, and the paint is dried, and now we're going to finish this piece off. All right, let's get to it. Okay, well, first we'll do the basing. Pretty much a lot like what I was always doing with the Battletech minis. The difference is that there's no labels. Although now that I've been kind of removed from the game for so long, sometimes, you know, I'm actually starting to wonder if I should actually go back and do that. But that would be a heck of a lot of pieces to do that with. So I'm thinking no. But with the new stuff, who knows? Maybe I'll do that. I don't know yet. All right, so got two nice globs. This is a fairly large base. It's got to spread out the glue as much as possible. And because of the size of this, it's going to be a bit different on how I apply it. As you can see, I got a bunch of the terrain sitting here. That's actually the top of the container that I'm using. And so, because, well, actually that would have fit in there, but I don't think it would have fit the way I needed it to. So here's what we're going to do. So we're going to shake some of them. Okay. And we're going to go to the back side. Put some on. And look at that. Just put the rest in there. And that part is done. Okay. It went on pretty good, if I do say so myself. And now, the P3 paints, they also had their own wash, but I'm going to just use the one that I've been using. So actually, let me hold it. There we go. Now I can do it. Okay, let's get all nice here. As always, looking to get it into every nook and cranny. I will admit that on the Warmachine and Hordes pieces I did in the past, I think I used too much of the wash because a lot of it looked like, it's just, that made the piece just look dirty. And since it is such a big piece, it is going to take a little bit longer than usual with the wash to get it all on. And I could see that some of the basing is coming off, but not going to worry about that because there's plenty that's still on it. All right. All right. So, here we go. I think that's good enough. Okay. So, here we go. For the Cygnar faction in Warmachine, here we have the Warjack, the Brickhouse, ready to go. So, that's all I got for today. Thank you again for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share this video as much as possible. That's the best way to support the channel. If you're watching this on Patreon, please do the same there. And please also go to Tabletop Jones Productions and do the same there. Like, subscribe, and share. And on this channel, I am currently at 68 subscribers. Would like to make it to 75 pretty, as soon as possible. On Tabletop Jones Productions, we're at 32. We would like to make it to 50 so we can start live streaming games. We don't know how yet, but we want to learn how. But we can't do it until we have 50 subscribers. So anyway, again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please look for more from the Warmachine and Hordes on both, both here on the Kev Showcase and on Tabletop Jones Productions. We are going to do more with it here and there. Just stay tuned for that, and take care of yourselves, and I will see you.